Welcome, everybody, to another Victory Point Labs episode. I'm Spencer, joined by Todd and Kevin, and today we have a special guest, James Correia. James, tell us what you do.
Well, I run Little Meeples. It's an Instagram account where we give recommendations of board games for families and kids. And we really like to focus on the social and cognitive benefits of playing games with our kids. As a photographer during the day, I really love taking creative photography, so I'm very excited to be a part of this today.
Well, that is awesome. Thank you for joining us. And the world of tomorrow is here today in Maglev Metro. Maglev Metro is a pick-up-and-deliver game designed by Ted Alspach of Suburbia, The Castles of Mad King Ludwig, and One Night Ultimate Werewolf fame. This game, you are picking up passengers and robots across either Manhattan or Berlin, dropping them off at stations, and placing your clear acrylic tiles to design the best route to score the most points by optimizing your player board. This is a game I've been looking forward to for a while, and I'm so glad we got to shoot this. Alright, it's time to check out everybody's pictures. Todd, let's see yours first.
Okay, here's my shot.
Oh, wow.
I'm digging that red glow.
Very nice glow.
And glow looks like it's coming from underneath almost.
Oh, nice.
That light just may be coming from underneath.
Is it? We'll find out soon.
Yeah, so I ended up experimenting a little bit with some things that I've done in the past, but not quite like this. And I want to show off the whole hovering, like light rail kind of deal that we've got with the theme of the game. So here is a little bit of my setup. A little wonky. Basically, I have a light that's just been flopped so it's pointing directly up at the base, and then I kind of put these tiles that I've been using as really, they're really great backgrounds, but I have these thin ones, so I was able to push them out, and they're heavy enough to support a lot of weight. And so that's just a mess. It was very messy. I was trying to decide what to do with all the different pieces for a good 20 minutes before I settled. But you can kind of see in this picture I'm using glass. Basically, I have it stacked over the top of a few choice games. Games for board game photographers, they're perfect for elevating things and just stacking pieces and propping up backgrounds. I don't know if you guys do the same thing? Is that just me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the time.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. And when you have a collection like we all have, it's easy to find just the right size box.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is just a quick video. Basically, I've got the glass, a nice amount of space underneath, tried out some different backgrounds, and then you can see all the fingerprints that was hell to remove in post.
That's a big piece of glass.
Yeah, I ripped it out of a picture frame. My wife is...
It's a big frame.
It's a big frame. She's shooting the smoke. I decided on red. I tried a bunch of different colors. But I really liked how it was looking, especially with the extra smoke underneath it.
You guys always
Really?
have smoke.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you get the smoke from?
Sometimes I use the dry ice, but usually I use a fog machine.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't
These
used
guys use canned aerosol.
Yeah, I haven't used dry ice yet, but I really want to because I know it just kind of like sits.
Yeah,
The dry ice,
stays
it's
down
cool.
That's the best.
like a cloud.
How it just like flows out and just stays on the ground. Anyway, but Todd, that was fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank
super
you.
cool.
Yeah, it was really fun to mess around with the different elements and to use the glass. And I didn't even think that once I had my wife spray the smoke and the mist in there, that it was going to get caught underneath the glass. It was perfect. Once it got caught underneath there, it was almost like its own atmosphere underneath the tiles. So I was really happy with that.
Awesome.
So, yeah, there it goes. Who should go next?
Oh,
Kevin.
Volunteers.
Kevin's got a hand raised.
Pick me.
He's got the hand rest. Kevin, let's see your photograph.
Okay. All right, so I'm actually going to show you guys my behind the scenes first because there's a little bit of a build up. I had a failure to get to my final photo, and I thought I would just share all of it. I laid out a bunch of tiles on black poster board.
Okay.
And then I went through and I removed one tile at a time, and I tried to pencil in where the line of the tracks go. And once I had kind of created this entire track system, dumped them all out, and I attempted to cut each track out of the poster board. So then I tried to tape all the pieces that were kind of like free floating, and I should have thought to use a piece of glass here, but instead I just taped them. And then I had kind of like my layout and propped it between two games, of course, and relayed the tracks out the way that they were before, shined light underneath.
Oh.
Yep, so I shined light underneath. I just did a long exposure so that I could just use my thin little stick light. And this is how it turned out, and I hated it. Like, at first glance,
cool.
At first glance, I was like, it's cool, but if you look at like the actual like tracks,
It just
like
doesn't line
the
up.
lines,
Yeah.
it's terrible. Like, I knew that I wasn't gonna get the look I wanted unless the poster board was cut perfectly. So I called Todd's wife and I said, what is Todd doing for this photo? And I set a piece of glass on top of my light there, and I laid out the tracks. This is why I volunteered to go next. And but I did white. I didn't do a color.
Okay, good.
And so then I took the photo with the light on, took a photo with the light off. Then I lit up with my stick light each one of the train cars individually. And then I just pieced everything together in Photoshop to create this image here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Big
That's
difference.
crisp.
So it took a while to get to that point, but I think it was worth it. It took failing to really see, like, okay, how do I create this image? And even though our setup, Todd, was very similar, I think we had some pretty different images. So
Yeah.
Totally.
Absolutely.
I love those glowing edges of the hexes.
yeah, it took
This
a
is
decent
really nice.
amount of Photoshop to make
This
it
is
work.
like fine art black. Like I could even see the black extended out a ways to just have this little small. It's great. I love it.
Thank you. So
Very cool.
that was my photo, and it was it was immediately when I started taking all the pieces out of the box. That was kind of what I had in my head, and I wanted that really clean, like just black darkness with the pieces that kind of just look like they're floating
Yeah.
there. And
Well, see, I was gonna suggest after that first shot to stick some like vellum paper or something that would, so you wouldn't see the track edges.
yeah,
But your solution made it a better photo.
It doesn't look like it was on a piece of glass. It's
and I think that's because one of my base images was with the light on and one was with the light off, and so I was able to kind of get the outline of it, but just with black surrounding it. So yeah.
Very cool.
So that was
Nice.
my photo. James, you want to go next?
I will, because I don't want to be last.
Okay.
That's where the pressure comes. All right, here it is.
Oh man.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
So the concept I had right from the start was to get a light streak. I wanted the idea of everyone sort of waiting at a subway station and the train, like a bullet train flying by with a light streak coming through. So that's what I tried to do. And let's pull up the video to see how I went about doing it. Not the greatest video because I am a photographer, not a videographer. But so I'm setting up the composition first, make sure I had the right angle. I wanted a shot of the train coming into the station with everyone sort of standing on the platform waiting for a train, so you can see me laying out all the little people to get sort of silhouettes of them, but also make sure I can see the front of the train through it. And then once I had that up, now I'm focused on lighting, make sure I have everything lit up the way I want. So I have that little flashlight in the front because I want to make sure the front of the train is lit up, but I still want all the loci to have a sort of silhouette. And then after I have that set up, then I wanted to bring in the light streak, and that had to be a double exposure. So I use a double exposure. I want one little LED, and this is the only thing I can find that had one little light. Put it at the end of a pencil, turn off the lights, and do a little 5-second exposure.
Oh, nice.
And like shake it back and forth to get that streak. Took me a couple of tries, but I got that, so it's basically putting that and the other one together. Now,
Nice.
you'll notice the
That's awesome.
background is different because later I put this down on the table and just looked at it and said, wait a second, this looks way better. With the light in the background. So I basically redid the whole thing again with that light in the background because it gave me a different feel. The first photo was more of a darker, I guess, grungy New York look, which is sort of what I was planning to do at the start. But when I saw this, it gave me more of a high-tech Tokyo subway type of feel. So then I went with that because I really liked the result of that.
Nice.
And that's me just lighting it up again.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. I thought the light in the background was really cool, and this light streak as well.
Yeah, the light streak was a fantastic idea. I really like that.
Yeah, so I had to position the people in front so the streak sort of goes behind them. So yeah, it's the concept I had from the start, and it turned out sort of like what I wanted, so I was happy with that.
Nice.
I also know
I like that you had set something up and then you realized something else was better and then just redid it. I feel like I do that a lot, so it's nice to hear that other people do it.
Yeah. I also noticed one of my LED lights are dead in the top left corner. What is that? Why is that light dead?
I do like the reflections on the table, or the board. It's coming across nice, and the use of the pencil to drag it was a nice touch.
Yeah, that's smart.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Very cool.
All right, so last but not least, better be the best one, Spencer. Let's see it.
All right, here we go.
Whoa.
What is going on here?
Okay.
I need time to digest this and figure out what's going on before you divulge your secrets.
I have some ideas, but
Well, let me show you behind the scenes.
Right there.
Those ideas match up with the reality. So this is my inspiration.
Oh.
I love this shot of a Grand Central Station in New York, and I was trying to create that with the light beams coming down.
Yeah.
So I wanted to create the windows essentially with the tiles because they're nice and clear. Figure out if I was going to do all 4 colors per window or 1 color per window, and I wound up going with 1 color per window because then I could shine it down on each train of the same color. And I have an LED panel, and when I shoot with my flashes I have modifiers that I use, but with the LED panel I don't have any modifiers. It just has some barn doors on it, but it wasn't enough. I wanted to direct that light into a tighter beam so I could get those rays, and so I found some boxes and I made this contraption where I stick the LED panel in that big hole, and then the light comes out this smaller end, and it's kind of big.
Wow.
And so here's me just cutting the cardboard that I'm going to put the acrylic tiles against. So I measured out the spacing of them, and then cut into the cardboard. But because the cardboard would show up in the image, I covered it with black paper because I didn't want anything showing up besides the light and the pieces. And I taped the 4 pieces of track together and then wound up taping those into place. And I wish I had more than 1 continuous light, but to get a harsher beam. But so this I propped it up with a wire, and then angled the light pretty steep so it could hit each of these spots.
that's so cool.
Yeah, the angle must be the hardest part, getting the
angle is
down
tough, because at what I thought was a steep angle, it was still like way too wide.
Dude,
And
there. Oh my.
so this is what it looks
I
like.
love it. That's killer.
And then I put some fog machine in there, and there's actually a 3 in camera, but it's a 3 shot exposure, so it's 3 exposures in one. The first one I had a black piece of paper, and I'm holding it out, covering up about half my lens for half the first exposure, which is 4 seconds, because I didn't want the windows to be too bright. And then the second exposure, I'm covering up the top part of the lens, blocking out the windows completely with more fog from the fog machine. And then the last exposure, the green light, for some reason on the green side wasn't bright enough, so I covered up most of the lens except for the very left side, so it could expose a little bit longer. And then I was packing up and someone joined in the fun.
You made this for me?
He loves going in cardboard boxes, and light modifiers are no exception. So that's the fun.
Wow.
That's some dedication, man.
I love it. That's, it's super creative.
Yeah, I can't believe that's one shot.
Thank you.
I'm very happy.
Yeah. we had a great group of pictures.
Yeah, that was good. A good set of different styles.
I think Ted Alspach is going to be proud of us.
I hope so.
Better be.
I'm expecting a tweet from him.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of Victory Point Labs. James Correia, it was great to have you on. Tell us where we can find you.
Well, I spend all my time on Instagram, so you can find me there, and feel free to reach out to me and just chat about games if you want. And thanks, guys, for having me here. I really enjoyed seeing all the different creative photos, and I've been looking forward to being a guest on here for a while, so I'm glad to finally have it done.
Well, we are so glad to have you on today. And if you liked what you see here, please give us a like and subscribe. Tell us which photo of all of ours was your favorite and why. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and of course here on YouTube. Thank you all so much again for watching. Can't wait to show you what we have coming up in our next episodes, so stick around. All right, it's time to check out everybody's pictures. Todd, let's see yours first.
Okie doke. Here we go. I feel like I say okie doke every time.
You want to do it again?
Thing.
Or you want to go stick with okie doke?
Let's do one. Let's do one more time because I'm a little tired of okie doke. Sorry.
I forgot what I said.
That okie doke really killed the vibe.
Well, you know what? I just cut what I said.
Oh, now I don't know what to say. Oh, God.
Thanks again for watching. Stick around for the next episode. Anybody? Inspiration?
Bye.